I cannot begin to explain how much joy and happiness I've been feeling these past couple of days because my subscription box has been filled with fall books recommendations, books that you need to read this fall season, required reading list for fall, dark academia, classics, like yes, this is what I was made for. This is the reason that I'm still alive to this day. And honestly, I can't let this season go by without, chipping in, putting in my 2 cents, giving you guys a couple of recommendations of fall books that I just think fit this season perfectly. Whether you're looking for some cozy, comforting books that feel like a hug or like a warm candle, or if you're looking for more atmospheric, reflective, or if you're looking for horror books, I have so many recommendations for you guys, and I cannot wait to talk about all of these books that I have read over the years that are just so quintessentially fall. So hello my friends, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to your new favorite place on the internet. My name is Bella and I love fall. Even though I do live in the Dominican Republic and technically we don't really experience fall whatsoever, I have come to accept nevertheless that I love fall. I love everything that has to do with fall, the decorations, the seasonally flavored food items, whether it be drinks or, desserts or pumpkin pies, anything whatsoever related to fall, sign me up, okay? And that's why as soon as I saw other booktubers giving their fall recommendations, I was like, I need to join the party. Do you see this stack of books? I have so many recommendations for you guys, and we have so many different categories as well. I feel like there's a book here for every type of reader, so I really just wanted to welcome you guys to this new video that's going to be everything fall books related. I hope that you're cozy. I hope that you have your favorite fall snack with you, because I don't even know how long this is gonna be. I just know that I have thoughts, I have opinions, and I have recommendations for you guys. If you're looking to find your new favorite fall read, then stay right here because I'm about to hopefully introduce you to some really incredible books that will change your life and will help you experience this new fall season to its max potential. So without further ado, let's get into the book recommendations. We're going to be starting off very strong, and these are books that I have recommended in the past, but I cannot let a fall books recommendation list go by and not mention In the Weeds by B.K. Borison. Okay, so listen. This is the second book in a companion series written by B.K. Borison. The first book is called Love Light Farms. You may have heard of it, but the thing is, you don't need to read any of the other books if you only want to read this one. You would get the full experience if you did it like that, but it's not necessary. And this book specifically takes place in fall. The descriptions, the writing, the setup, it's just so cozy. The characters as well, they're just so... they're gonna warm your heart. This truly is going to just feel like drinking the best cup of warm coffee or tea or whatever drink of choice you may prefer. It just feels like it's going to warm you up from the inside out. It's like the perfect book to read cuddled up in bed and just reading about these characters that have their own things going on and their own romances and their own self-growth that they have to go through. Everything is set in this small town where everybody knows everyone, and the descriptions, the writing, everything about this is just so fall-coded. B.K. Borison truly knows how to transport you into an entirely new world, and she knows how to make these characters feel so real and like you've known them your entire life. So you're definitely going to connect with these characters and you're going to see yourself in these characters and you're going to fall in love with them. Like, you truly are. There's just no way that you won't fall in love with the story, with these characters, with their growth, with what they're going through. Look at the amount of annotations and tell me that you're not intrigued to see what this book holds in store for you. A grumpy farmer and a no-nonsense social media influencer have another chance at love in this charming romantic comedy. This is a second chance romance because they did meet in summer. Like, this book starts with a prologue where they met for the first time in summer, but then it skips to November. It's just so, you don't understand. I do apologize in advance because I am going to be focusing more on how a book made me feel instead of focusing on explaining every single detail of a story to you. So I hope that you understand. Basically, this is a small town romance between these two characters who have so much to learn from each other and they have so much space to grow and become better, and they're both just kind of learning as they go, and they are so like, it's just giving. Like, B.K. Borison really knows how to write romance because she doesn't rely on those tropes that have become so irritating. There are these specific romance tropes that authors have been using lately as a sort of cop-out, and it's really annoying to me. It sort of almost even ruins the entire book for me, but B.K. Borison would never do that. She would never do me that dirty, and that's why I trust B.K. Borison with my life. I know where to go when I want a cozy romance where I can relate to the characters and I can love them and I can, you know, live this journey and experience and adventure with them. Like, I know that I can always count on B.K. Borison. So In the Weeds is definitely our very first fall book recommendation. If you're looking for a cozy romance to cuddle up in bed with, like, you will never go wrong with this, okay? Just saying. This next one is Legends and Lattes, written by Travis Baldree. So this is sort of a what if type of story. We're following this ogre, and instead of it being like this super adventurous fantasy novel where this ogre is just going on different missions and killing different creatures, we're just focusing on this ogre who is basically retired, and she decided to open up her own coffee shop because she's always loved coffee, and she just wants to live a life that's, you know, outside of battle, outside of the blood and the gore, and she's just tired of always moving about and not really setting down roots, and she's ready to settle down, and she's ready to open up her own coffee shop. I read this book a couple of years ago, but I still remember how nice it felt to read such a cozy fantasy and to be surrounded by the smells and the taste. Like, it felt so real. The way that Travis Baldree describes this coffee shop and, you know, this entire story, it just feels so vivid. It comes to a point where you can literally smell the coffee shop around you. You can hear the coffee beans being grinded up or being grounded down, And the point is, it becomes such a vivid reading experience, and I would 100% recommend it because if you love reading cozy books but also mixed in with some fantastical elements, then Legends and Lattes is definitely for you. And this also has a sequel. I don't have the physical copy, but it was also a really good one. But I think this is definitely the one that I would recommend the most. If fall had a flavor, it would definitely be Legends and Lattes, because we have cinnamon rolls, we have the smell of coffee, the smell of tea, we have these really interesting characters, and we have these relationships growing between all of them, and it's just so comforting. It's so nice. It's like slow paced, it's beautiful in its simplicity. It's just incredible. So if you still haven't read Legends and Lattes, now is the perfect time to do so. This next one is a little bit of an oldie but a goodie, and I feel like I haven't really seen a lot of people mention this one, but I remember when I first read it. Okay, listen, I was transported into fall because I didn't even read it during the fall season, but I was like, this would be a perfect fall book, and that is An Enchantment of Ravens, written by Margaret Rogerson. This book, oh my goodness. We're following this human, this totally normal girl, and she's a painter, and somehow she has fallen into the world of fae. With a flick of her paintbrush, Isabel creates stunning portraits for a dangerous set of clients, the fair folk. Isabel and Rook journey along a knife edge in a lush world where beauty masks corruption and the cost of survival might be more frightening than death itself. My favorite part of this book by far has to be the writing. It is so lyrical and beautiful, and it transports you into this world that has beautiful fall imagery. Like, we have the leaves, we have the colors, we have the browns and the oranges and the reds, and we have just the perfect amount of romance. This is just fall in a book. It really is, with the descriptions, the writing, the characters, the romance of it all. It's just so stunning, and the story itself was so interesting, and it's really short. I feel like this is the type of book that you can maybe even read in one sitting. It is less than 300 pages. Okay, you can totally read this in one day. Maybe not one sitting. Okay, maybe not one day. One weekend. You can totally read this in one weekend. It'll probably be one of the best weekends that you spend in this fall season because it is just so... It is a stunning work of art. So now we're moving on to books that are a little bit more atmospheric, a little bit more reflective, and that does mean that I do have a couple of classics here because, I mean, let's just be so for real. Fall season, well, fall and winter are like the perfect time to read classic literature because there's just something about losing yourself in these historical worlds, whether it be Jane Eyre or Wuthering Heights. Like, there's just something so elementally fall about classic literature that I just cannot explain or put into words. But I do have some classics, so why don't we just get right into it? There simply cannot be a fall books recommendation video without mentioning Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. This is one of my all-time favorite classics, and I feel like it doesn't get enough love, okay? I remember when I first read it, I related so deeply to our main character, to our titular character. I remember loving her so much and seeing myself in these pages, loving her journey towards becoming the person that she was supposed to be all along. I think this is the perfect blend of romance with a gothic atmosphere because we have this creepy mansion, we have this brooding love interest, we have secrets hiding in the attic that we know nothing about, but we have our suspicions, and we keep thinking that the love interest is a killer, but like we can't prove it. It's just, there's so much mystery going on. There's this air and atmosphere of mystery, but at the same time, it's like this really cozy read and comforting in its own way. Like, how can both of these things be true at the same time? Somehow Jane Eyre makes it work, okay? She just does. It's moody enough to give you chills and to build this sort of suspense and tension that you can't really explain, but it's also tender and it's also emotional. And we're also focusing on Jane Eyre's personal journey towards finding herself and finding out who she wants to be and what she truly believes in and what she wants to fight for. And it's just so good. It's just so good. Like, you don't understand. I adored reading Jane Eyre. I really did. This next author, I do admit, may not be for everyone, but I still hope that you guys give it a chance and just make up your own minds, because this is one of those authors that their writing is so unique. You will never really see something quite like this before or after you read her. And that author is Virginia Woolf. Listen, Virginia Woolf has this way of writing that is just very stream of consciousness. It never really stops. It's truly just like this river that just keeps on going, especially in the waves. We have 6 different characters, and sometimes it's even hard to figure out who is narrating. Like, who are we reading this story from? Whose perspective are we following right now? Like, sometimes it's hard to keep track of it, but I think that it forces you to pay more attention and to really focus on what you're reading and spending time with. And because you start to pay more attention, you start to notice things that you probably wouldn't have noticed if you were casually reading Virginia Woolf. And I think that's the beauty of Virginia Woolf. You start to notice so many things that you usually don't. And you start to spend so much time with these characters and their thoughts that they become your own in a way, and you start to feel this transformation happening inside of you. It's a really beautiful and unique reading experience that I haven't really had with any other classic literature author, or just author in general. So The Waves, as I mentioned, let me put the other one down. The Waves, we are following 6 different people. Just look. I mean, look at this. Look at the amount of tabs that we have. There's definitely so much happening in this book. There is so much grief, there is so much pain, there is so much sadness. It's very introspective, it's very reflective, it's very much a book that makes you think, a book that makes you reflect on your own life and your own past experiences and how they have shaped you. Virginia Woolf is not known for her plot heavy books. This is definitely, like, if you were to look for a character-driven book, Virginia Woolf would always deliver. But even though it doesn't have that much of a plot, it's still so lyrical, it's still so beautiful and melodic. This book is ideal for those quiet, introspective days in fall where you really just want to sit with a book and spend hours reading it and spend hours thinking about your life and your choices, but like in a good way, not in a spiraling down a dark hole, more so seeing your past in a bright light and, celebrating what you've done with your life so far. I think Virginia Woolf really helps with that. And if you've already read The Waves, then I also have another Virginia Woolf recommendation, and that is Mrs. Dalloway. So remember when I said that Virginia Woolf wasn't really that focused on plot? Well, this book literally takes place in one single day. We're just following the titular character, Mrs. Dalloway, as she goes about her day. She's hosting this ball and she has some errands to run. She has people to see, people to meet, and we're just following alongside her as she's doing all of these things. Virginia Woolf is definitely perfect if you're looking for some reflective reads that you can really just slow down with and take your time with them. Okay, what do we have next? Oh my goodness. Wait, I am so excited for this next one. I need to calm down a little bit. So this is one of those books where I will literally not be able to speak about it. I just won't. That is my fatal flaw. The more that I love a book, the less I can speak about it, unfortunately. And this next book, well, I'm just gonna let it speak for itself. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, written by V.E. Schwab. Let me just give you the synopsis, okay? So we have Addie, right? And Addie has freckles on her cheeks that look like a constellation, and she makes a deal with the devil to live forever. The only caveat is that everybody she meets will forget her. Nobody has any memories of Addie LaRue. That's why it's The Invisible Life, because as soon as she's out of sight, you'll forget her. You won't even remember her name. You won't even remember how she made you feel. But Addie remembers everything. She remembers everyone. The weight of having to live a life where nobody remembers you, where you are cursed to live forever but alone, it's just the exploration, okay? Okay. It's lyrical. Of course, it's V.E. Schwab. Of course, it's going to be lyrical and beautiful, and the writing is going to be one of the best parts of this book, but it's also haunting, and it's filled with melancholy, and it's just so, oh my God, it's like this one girl, you know what I mean? And I really can't speak about this book, but I have to. Do you see how I become nonverbal? I become impossible to hold a conversation with. I can't get out one coherent thought, because all I can remember from this reading experience, apart from, the vague details of the synopsis, is how it made me feel, how this book literally transformed me and helped me explain or understand things that I was feeling but couldn't really put into words because nobody had ever told me what these feelings and emotions meant. And it taught me so much about myself and about the world and about human emotion and about human relationships and the importance of partnership and how humans were not meant to be alone. And it's like, don't even. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, I literally have 7 editions because it's one of my all-time favorite books, and it's going to change your life, okay? I know that there are people out there that don't like The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and that's okay. To each its own. Pa lo gusto se hicieron los colores, whatever, I don't care. Pero if you haven't read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, please do me the absolute honor of reading it and then tell me how you feel about it, because this is one of those books that I'm just scared. I'm just scared, okay? I'm scared. I'm so scared. I don't even know what I'm scared about. I'm just scared. But yeah, Addie LaRue, please, please, please. If there is one book from this entire list that you decide to pick up, please let it be Addie LaRue. That's all I'm gonna say. Now we're moving on to a little bit of dark academia, definitely a bit darker than the books that I've been recommending, because so far we've had reflective, we've had cozy, comforting, but now we're getting into a different genre of books, a different air of books. And to start us off in this dark academia path, we do have, of course, once again, one of my honestly, at this point, it just feels like I'm recommending all of my all-time favorite books to you guys, because once again, this is another favorite, and it is Babel by R.F. Kuang. Oh my goodness. I'm just gonna go ahead and show you the tabs. Look at girl, that's literally insane. But there's just so much to annotate about this book. There's so much to say. There's so much to look up. There's so much to think about. There's so much to reflect on. There's so much to highlight, to write about, to think, to annotate. There's just so much. There's just so much. R.F. Kuang, I feel like she needs no introduction. Like, she literally just came out with a new book, which probably would also be perfect for fall, but since I haven't read it yet, I don't want to recommend it to you guys. But Babel, I mean, it's just dark academia wrapped into a book, but also I don't want to just simplify this incredible book into a simple tag. Like, I don't want to just be like, oh yeah, this is good if you like dark academia. No, this is good if you love literature. This is good if you like well-rounded characters. This is good if you like falling in love with these people and making them feel like they're your friends, and they're going to become your ride or dies, and you're going to want to go to war for them, and you're going to want to, like, if you've ever dreamed of being a student in Oxford and having that group of friends that would be with you through everything, I think Babel will help you live that fantasy. This really is for the academias at heart. It really is. But I feel like there's also a little bit of everything for any type of reader, well, except if you love like sci-fi. Maybe this book wouldn't be for you. It also has such an interesting conversation on translation and how there can never be a true translation of anything, because through the task of translating any sort of text, you lose a little bit of the integrity of the original. And there's a really interesting conversation that R.F. Kuang, or not even conversation, just a discussion that she starts about translation, because obviously Babel, it's the Tower of Babel. This is also one of those books that just takes time. You can't speed through this. It is not fast-paced at all. I mean, just look at the size of it. Holy crap on a cracker. But I still feel like it is 100% worth it. This has 542 pages, and I truly believe that every single page is worth your time. R.F. Kuang is such a brilliant author, and her power, her talents, her skills really shine through in Babel. So 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10, my dude. We also have Vicious by V.E. Schwab, which okay, once again, all-time favorite book right here, ladies and gentlemen. Like, Vicious, don't even get me started. I've reread Vicious over 5 times. That's how much I adore this book. This is a duology. Well, actually, I think it's supposed to be a trilogy now, but the 3rd book hasn't come out, and it won't come out, I think, until like 2026. So for me, in my heart, this is still a duology. Vicious is the book that made me realize that my favorite types of characters are morally gray characters. This, Victor Vale, don't even get me started. Victor Vale awakened something in me. Ever since that day, I've been looking for a book that has characters like Victor Vale, and I always fail in that mission because there is no other character like Victor Vale. If you haven't read Vicious, you definitely have a Victor Vale shaped hole in your heart that only by reading Vicious will you be able to feel full again. Imagine these 2 best friends, okay? Best of friends. They share everything, they do everything together, and that includes dying together. In this world, in this universe, there's this theory that if you die under the right conditions and then you come back to life, you can develop these extraordinary talents, these magical powers. When they learn, Eli and Victor, they are the 2 best friends. When they learn of this theory, they're like, let's test it out. Let's go, I guess. And so unfolds one of the best stories that I've ever read, and that I will always find time to reread because it is just so beautifully done. It is so majestically executed. I can't get enough of it. This is literally perfect for you. I won't even add an if. Like, it's just perfect for you, and I know it, and I need you to pick it up, okay? Because you're going to have so much fun. There's humor, there's sarcasm, there's dark humor as well. It is a little bit violent, but I think that because of the title, maybe you can kind of catch that. Like, it won't come as much of a surprise to know that this is a violent book, in the sense that, people die. Yeah, like, the entire premise is you have to die in order to get magical powers, so I think it won't come as a surprise that there's a little bit of violence involved in Vicious, but it's just perfect. It's perfect for those dark, dreary fall nights where you're looking for an atmospheric, immersive read. Vicious is definitely like, yes, pick up Vicious, okay? Vicious, pick it up. But this is my copy. Go get your own. This next one, I read, I think in 2021, I read it in December. And when I read it, I was like, I should have read this in October because it's just so quintessentially Halloween. If anybody recommends Dracula to you, don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. I have a better alternative, okay? If you've already read Dracula, then that's even better because you know that there are better vampire books out there. And one of those better alternatives is A Dowry of Blood, written by S.D. Gibson. Oof. How can I even begin to explain how good this book is? It's lyrical, it's dreamy, it's this reimagining of Dracula's brides, and it's written from the perspective of the brides. Like, we don't have Dracula's perspective. Basically, Dracula is not even a main character here. This is all about the women, and this is all about what they had to go through because of a man. This has one of the most atmospheric, fantastical, beautiful writing from this entire list. I think I could say that. Yeah, for sure, absolutely. Like, this writing is just off the charts. Our main character, Constanta, is saved by Dracula from the brink of death, and she becomes one of his brides, but then she starts to realize, like, yeah, she falls in love with him, of course. Like, he's charming, he knows all the right words and all the right things to say and do, but Constanta starts to realize that he may not be as good as she thought he was. She starts to wake up to her reality, to her new reality, and what it means to be with this man, and how she finds companionship with people that have gone through the same thing. I think you should just read this, you know, just trust me when I say that if you haven't read A Dowry of Blood, you're missing out. You're missing out on one of the most beautiful not even retellings, but reimaginings of Dracula. This is so much more interesting than Dracula could ever be, okay? I don't have anything against Dracula, but I do have better recommendations than Dracula. So if you've read Dracula, read A Dowry of Blood. And if you haven't read Dracula, read A Dowry of Blood instead. That's all I have to say. I'm sorry if you love Dracula though. Like, I love that for you. It's just that when I read it, I think because of the expectations that I had built in my head, you know, considering that I had heard about this fictional characters for years and years, I really thought the book was going to be just as good as the legend per se, but it wasn't as good as I thought it would be. And that's why I'm so salty about it. But if you personally love Dracula, nothing against you. Like, you still have incredible book taste. It just doesn't align with my own. You know, just had to make that cute little, what's that word when somebody says something? And then disclaimer. Thank you so much. These next books are for when you're looking for more of a spooky gothic reading experience, and I have the perfect, like literally the definition of a gothic book. Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. Sorry, I really don't know how to pronounce her last name, but just look at the amount of tabs. That's all I'm gonna say. And this one has a very peculiar story because actually when I first tried to read Rebecca, I DNF'd it. I was like, you know what? I'm not vibing. I'm not liking this. Like, there are so many descriptions. It goes on for so long. I feel like this is not necessary. Like, I'm just not vibing with it. And I put it down. And then I didn't pick it up until like a couple of months afterwards. And the second time that I picked it up, like when I was in the mood for a book that had a lot of descriptions and that had a lot of flowery writing, when I was ready for that type of book, I devoured Rebecca. I adored this book. Rebecca is the gothic read for fall. It's mysterious. There's so much tension. There are so many secrets. There's this dead wife and there's this husband that is acting like real sus, and we don't know if he's the killer, but then we move in with him and we get married and we're in this new mansion and we keep seeing like these ghosts and we don't know if it's real. We don't know if we can rely on this narrator. We don't know if she's going crazy. It's such a mind game to read this book because you don't know what's real and what isn't, and you're constantly questioning your reality. You're constantly questioning the narrator herself. Like, you don't know if she's just going crazy or if she's making these things up because she's jealous, or she's just seeing things where there is really nothing to see at all. Oh my goodness, like the way that this story is structured, the way that the writing just pulls you in, it sucks you in, and it doesn't let you go until you finish, until you reach the last page. It is so good. It is so perfect for when you're looking for a spooky, suspenseful, mysterious read. But it's not even like there's nothing horrifying about this. There's nothing that I would directly call scary, but there's There's definitely a lot of secrets. There's definitely a lot of tension. There's definitely a lot of mystery because there's just so much going on and you can't find an answer for it. You don't know if it's actually happening or, again, if this girl is just crazy and this man is gaslighting her. You just have no idea what's going on. Rebecca, my dude. Rebecca, it's not what you think. And then, of course, we have, this book needs no introduction once again. The Picture of Dorian Gray. Don't get me started on The Picture of Dorian Gray, okay? It is so hard to talk about this book because this is one of the very first classics that I ever read in my entire reading journey. This is one of those books that started my love for classic literature. And because of that, it is just so impossible to speak about it. We have a cursed portrait. We have beauty and the corruption of beauty. We have eternal youth and the cost of that, how it wears and tears at your soul, how you lose a part of yourself by gaining something that you should have never had in the first place. We have our main character, Dorian Gray, doing everything in his power, even beyond his power, to keep the one thing that he thinks is what makes him worth something, which is his beauty. I'll admit, Oscar Wilde, he can go on tangents. He definitely, he's a sucker for tangents. He knows he writes beautifully, and he takes full advantage of that. And sometimes he writes these descriptions and he focuses on things that you normally wouldn't focus on. But I think that adds to the beauty of the story. I think all of Oscar Wilde's decisions as he was writing Dorian Gray is what makes this such a timeless classic, is what makes this one of the most well-known classics, in my opinion. I've met quite a lot of people that don't like Dorian Gray because of how descriptive it can be. But honestly, trust me, you have to push past that. Personally, I didn't have to push past it because I was so into the story. I was eating up everything that Oscar Wilde was giving us. I was literally gobbling everything up because it was so good. It was so scrumptious. I was sat for every single chapter. I love these characters. I love how morally gray they are. I love how nothing is black and white for them, how everything is just in the middle. Nothing is inherently good, nothing is inherently evil. It's how you make it out to be. This book has such incredible discussions on morality and corruption and youth, and I think it's just so fascinating. It really is. And guys, if you haven't read The Picture of Dorian Gray, again, now is the perfect time to pick it up. You must. You can't let your life pass by without you haven't read The Picture of Dorian Gray. Look at how much I annotated it. There's just so much to explore. There's so much to discuss. There's so much to lose yourself in. And it is just so worth it, okay? It's so worth it to read The Picture of Dorian Gray. You can truly just lose yourself in this story. So, perdóname, por favor. Ay, Dios mío. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, Dorian Gray, for sure. Absolutely. Come on now. You have to read The Picture of Dorian Gray. There is another classic book that I simply must recommend to you. I feel like if you've been here for a while, then you're kind of questioning, why hasn't Bella mentioned this book? Frankenstein, written by Mary Shelley. Here we go. I love this edition. I don't know how to talk about this book. Oh, I feel like I've been doing marginally well, maybe, perhaps, I don't know. I feel like I've been doing an okay job at describing these books, but when it comes to Frankenstein, if I loved it less, I could speak about it more. Frankenstein, we're following this college dropout. We're following this one guy as he has this dream or this theory where he believes that he can build a human from gathering dead body parts, and then he can make him come to life. He thinks that he can create a human, basically. Turns out he can, but then he doesn't want to take responsibility for it. You know what? Because he creates this monster, this creature, and he hates what he sees. He thinks that it is monstrous, that it is horrifying, that it should never exist, and yet he's the one that created him. This book is so much more than just the creation of Frankenstein's monster. It's more so the exploration of humanity and the human condition, which is definitely one of my favorite topics to read about in books and to explore and learn more about. And Mary Shelley does it in such a way that is so haunting and relatable because the monster, or not even the monster, okay, Frankenstein's creature is one of the most relatable fictional characters I have ever read from. His need for companionship, his feelings of loneliness and not belonging anywhere and feeling desolate, feeling abandoned by his creator, feeling like he's all alone in this world and in this existence and everything that he has to go through, all because he was left alone. He was abandoned. The creature doesn't even have a name. That's why I keep calling it the creature, because Frankenstein never gave him a name. And that is one of the most tragic little details of this story. But anyways, the creature is more tragic than he is terrifying. He doesn't kill because he wants to. He kills because people keep literally throwing rocks at him. They keep trying to kill him, and it's literally just an act of self-defense, okay? Like, he doesn't want to kill anyone. It's not like he yearns to murder people. He's literally looking for companionship. He's a normal guy looking for a normal girl to love him. It's haunting and beautiful, and again, this exploration of what it truly means to be human and the responsibility that we have as a creator of things. I am actually going to be rereading Frankenstein this October season in preparation to watch Guillermo del Toro's adaptation. I am so excited, you don't understand. I'm so excited, and I can't wait to relive this book. I can't wait to annotate it all over again, because this has one of the most beautiful writing that I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm so excited to jump back into this world and to learn more. Now that I've read Paradise Lost, which there are so many parallels between the creature and Adam from Paradise Lost. So I'm so excited that now that I have that knowledge in my brain, I can now read Frankenstein with new eyes and a fresh perspective as well. So I'm just so excited. So if you're going to read Frankenstein this season, we can buddy read. We can totally buddy read if you want, maybe. Next up, we have a couple of stories that are based around haunted houses. I just had to do a separate category for this one because there's just something so beautiful in a way with haunted houses. There's something so eerie and so horrifying, but like in a good way. Am I describing that right? Like horrifying in a good way. I feel like the ones that get it will get it. If you're looking for books that are based around a haunted house or a house with secrets, or where the house has a personality of its own, where the house is literally its own character, then you should definitely read The Haunting of Hill House, written by Shirley Jackson. This, of course, has been adapted into a Netflix show. The show does have its own magic, but I urge you to please read Shirley Jackson's novel, because it's horrifying, but not because it's like scary or like there's no scary monsters. It's not like this terrifying movie where there's demons and devils running around. It's just the way that it's written, the atmosphere of it all, the way that these characters are surrounded by this house that feels alive. Like, this house is literally alive. It comes to life thanks to Shirley Jackson's writing. It's just horrifying, but it's like that type of psychological horror where it's all in your head. It's literally all in your head. The Haunting of Hill House. It's haunting. Girl, I should retire. Another book. This one was a 5-star. Okay, The Haunting of Hill House was a 4-star, like a very solid 4-star. But this next one, y'all, it's a 5-star. It's a 5-star, and it is Thistlefoot, written by Jenna Rose Nethercott. Look at this. Just look at it. Okay, let's bask in the beauty of this cover. It's incredible. We're following these two siblings, and they live in this house literally. And as you can see, it has chicken feet because it moves. The house literally moves. It's based on Jewish folklore and adorned with lyrical prose as tantalizing and sweet as briar berries. I've always loved stories about siblings, especially siblings that need to come together to defeat a bigger evil, because they are being haunted by this one dude, a sinister figure known only as the Long Shadow Man. Like, come on now. As the Yaga siblings embark with Thistlefoot on a cross-country theater tour, the Long Shadow Man follows in relentless pursuit, as do the specters of history, including the forgotten fate of a small shtetl and the house's original inhabitant, Baba Yaga. I needed to spend as much time as I could with these siblings and this house that has chicken feet and that could move across countries, and it It was such an incredible reading experience. I would give everything to be able to read this without knowing how it was going to go for the first time again. It's creepy, it's atmospheric, and it's perfect for stormy nights. It really is. If by any chance you have already read Rebecca, then I do have another alternative for you, but make it Mexican. And that is The Hacienda, written by Isabel Cañas. This was another incredible reading experience. It is so creepy. Like, you're filled with tension because you don't understand what's going on. Like, you think that this house is haunted. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. We're following this girl, and she has married this man that she really knows nothing about, but she moves into his estate, and it's a very creepy place. There's like a lot of dark and creepy hallways. There's so much quiet, and there's so many places that are unknown to our main character, and everything is just so scary and creepy and mysterious. There's so much psychological terror going on as well, because you just don't know what's real and what isn't. And I think that that adds to the beauty of this book and how haunting it feels. It's just so creepy. It really is just so creepy, but not scary in a way where you can't handle it. It's so vivid. You kind of fall into this what's that word, like detective sort of work, where you're trying to figure out what's going on in this house. Like, what went down? Who is this man that we married? Is he really who he says he is? Why does he keep disappearing? Like, our main character spends so much time alone in this house, and she really has no other choice, because like, what is she supposed to do? Like, she can't go outside. That's not very womanly of her, especially in these times that this book is written. If you haven't read The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas, 10 out of 10. Oh my goodness, 10 out of 10 would recommend. The last two recommendations that I have for you are not actually books. They're actually manga, and they're not really a specific book. It's more so the author, which I think is truly the embodiment of this season, more specifically October than November, but you get it. It's Junji Ito, okay? Junji Ito has written so many incredible horror mangas. He has so many short story collections. He has Uzumaki, he has Tomi, he has Gyo, which I'm not really a fan of, but you know, it's there. But then the ones that I would recommend, if you've never read Junji Ito before, if you want to get a taste of what his writing style is like, of what his drawing style is like, then I would 100% recommend Deserter. This is truly horror. This is for the people that don't mind gory details. This is people that don't mind violence and darkness and like the worst thing that could happen to humans ever. If you've already read Deserter, I also recommend, and this one is a little bit shorter as well, Fragments of Horror. Oh my goodness, this one, like, it's short, but it's powerful, okay? It's like the stories that were included here are so cursed. They're literally so cursed. When I first learned about Junji Ito, I didn't really know what to expect because I had never read a horror manga before, but truly my world expanded when I read Junji Ito because I love horror manga. I gobble these up so quickly. I wish there were 100 more short story collections that I could buy and collect for myself because they're so riveting, they're so traumatizing, but like in the best way possible. Like, yeah, they're scary, and sometimes, you know, Junji Ito's gonna use your own phobias against you, but you won't be able to stop yourself from reading them because they're so masterfully done. You will not be able to get your eyes off the page. I do get asked quite a lot, like, what books I would recommend of Junji Ito for someone who has never read them. So there we go. We finally have an answer to the much asked question of what would you recommend of Junji Ito. These are just so good. These are so good. And he's coming out with a new book. I think it comes out the 9th or 7th of October, and it's called Moan. It looks so good. It looks so good. I'm so excited to get my hands on it. Oh my goodness. So these are all of the books. I need to put this down. I'm so sorry. These are all of the books that I would recommend in order for you guys to have the most beautiful fall season that you could ever imagine. As a reader, these are required reading. Yes. Yes. In order to pass my class, you need to read all of these books. So if you want a good grade, let me know what books you're going to be reading from this fall list. Which ones have you already read? And also, what fall books would you recommend to me? You know, having seen this list, you kind of know the type of books that I gravitate towards. So which ones would you recommend that I give a try this fall season? Because I am always on the lookout for new books to fall in love with. I really hope that you enjoyed seeing my required reading for for this fall season. Hopefully you got a recommendation or two from this video. I also have a Patreon where I post exclusive content. I host readathons, reading sprints, and a monthly book club. And this month we're going to be reading Don't Let the Forest In. So if you're interested, the link is down below. As always, I would love to have you there. I need to go put these books back where they belong. Like, you don't understand how empty or how weird my shelves look because they have so many empty holes in them now. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I really do hope that you enjoy because, you know, at the end of the day, I'm making these videos for you guys and I'm recommending these books hoping that you find your new favorite book. So yeah, I just hope that I could add a little bit of joy to your fall season. If you've been having a string of bad days, you know, sometimes we're not as lucky as we want to be. Sometimes we don't have all the good days that we wish we could. So if you're currently going through it, I hope that you know that you're not alone. You're truly never alone. As long as I'm here, you will never be alone. So thank you so much for being here for me as well. I really appreciate it. I love you guys, and we will see each other very, very soon. Bye.
Hey Jimmy, you nice. Keep going.